One technique that I think is useful for feedback is what I call 4 quarters marking. So in some schools, parents expect teachers to grade everything students do, and I think that's bad policy. Because a certain amount of feedback is useful, but you very quickly get diminishing returns. And the most important concept in school improvement is opportunity cost. Every hour that a teacher spends on one thing is an hour they don't have to spend on something else. And so if a teacher is grading or marking everything that a student is doing, then they don't have time to prepare high quality instruction. So I actually advocate something I call 4 quarters marking. And this should be explicit to parents as well. So the idea is this: parents can expect that their child will get detailed, helpful comments on 25% of the work that the student hands in. The teacher will also then, for 25% of the work, do whole class feedback. So the idea is the teacher takes in all the students' work, but rather than writing comments on individual students' work, she looks through them all and decides what ideas, what thoughts do I need to present to the whole class to move the whole class's learning forward. Because it's really important to remember that a lot of teachers find themselves writing the same thing on lots of different students' work. Teaching is interesting because students are so different. It's only possible because they're so similar. And so whole class feedback can be a very effective way of dealing with a lot of misconceptions at the same time. 25% can then be peer assessment, and 25% can be self-assessment. So that's my 4 quarters marking. 25% careful, detailed comments by the teacher that the students are expected to respond to. 25% skimming to give whole class feedback. 25% peer assessment. 25% self-assessment. That seems to be a reasonably sensible balance of the different kinds of ways we might respond to students' work. And this needs to be explained to parents. I think we need to say to parents, you do not want us grading every single thing your child does. Because if we do that, we are spending way too much time on grading and not enough time on planning good teaching. And after a certain point, time is better spent planning good teaching than it is doing even more grading. So the idea is that we should be quite cautious in how much we grade, to leave teachers time to come up with good instruction that benefits students to a greater degree.